Okay, here we sit. My name is Tilly. This is Tara with Tilly, and we are here today to say goodbye to 2020. And what a year! What a year! 2020 was that year to understand what had value in our life, what did not have value in our life, what we needed in our life, and what we simply did not need in our life. Who our friends were. Um, where we gave our power away, where we needed to take it back, to understand what would truly give us balance, happiness, joy, and what brings us sadness. We had to face fears, anxieties, chaos, sadness, and there were joyful moments and happy moments and good things that came out of 2020. So we were going into 2021 now. So 2020 was a 4 energy. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0 is a 4 energy. And so the 2 energy was really about understanding that you had value, to go in and see your true talents, your abilities, the unique you. Insight to who you are and what you truly value and what you truly love, and where your passions lay, and what your talents and abilities are, and to learn about your great strength and courage, your talents, your abilities, the unique you. And then the 0 represents a godlike energy. So, and we'll be experiencing that for quite some time, won't we? The 0 energy being a part of it. Next 80 years for sure. Um, 2021, on the other hand, is 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus a 1. So it will look a lot like 2020 in some ways, because the 2 energy is still just as strong as ever. We have the godlike energy in there, but now we have the 1 energy. And the 1 energy is creation. It's independence. It's pioneering. It's new beginnings. It's our image. It's trusting in yourself, in your inner guide, your gut feeling, your sage wisdom. And when we add it all together, we end up with a 5 energy. So the 5 energy, in numerology, a 5 energy is the bridge, right? Very much like your heart chakra is the bridge between the chakras, right? So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 becomes the bridge to 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is where decisions are made. This is where we can, invent a whole new reality for ourselves if we want. It's very much about our thoughts and really thinking about what we want to bring it into focus, to bring it into our reality. We are building a bridge towards those things. The following year will be a 6, and it'll be all about the change in our routines, our health, our well-being, our fitness, the way we live, the way we go about our day-to-day. The 5 energy is I want. The 5 energy is freedom. The 5 energy is laughter and joy and romance. The 5 energy is creativity and self-expression. So it's like the total opposite in many ways to what 2020 gave us. Now, when you look into at least the first half of the year for sure, Uranus holds the stage. All the planets seem to revolve around Uranus for the first half of the year. And that's unexpected change events. So expect more of what we already experienced. New extremes coming in. And so with the 5 energy, working under the 5 energy, we have to be very aware that, okay, I have my reality, my thoughts, beliefs, values. And just because they're my thoughts, beliefs, and values, I don't expect you to have the same ones. And yours may be very different. And I expect you to respect my values, so I need to respect yours. And not try and change people or change situations, or but it's being very conscious of who you are. You are the one building the bridge. You are the one that really needs to put the focus on your tomorrow. Now, that's not to say that we all stand alone, but we find ourselves melting in with like-minded individuals for causes, for justness, for, Aquarius is very big in the first half of the year too. A lot happens in Aquarius, a lot happens in Taurus. So when we look at Aquarius, that's about being fair, working together as a whole. It's not about each individual, it's more about the collective. It's a fixed energy, and it's an air energy. And so we know from the great conjunction that happened on the 21st that we have just entered a cycle of 200 years of air energy when it comes to Saturn, when it comes to Jupiter, when it comes to how the world transforms. They just came in from their outside run. They loved it. It was like snow covered for a couple of days, so the dogs just had a hoot out there. And then, unfortunately, it got a little milder, and the snow went. So now they just come in wet and muddy. So, anyways, where was I? It's about being accountable for who you are in this world, and that's the 5 energy. We were talking about the Aquarian energy, and I was interrupted, and I backspaced too far in my mind. So the Aquarian energy, it is about humanitarianism. It's about inventiveness. It's about thinking outside the box. It's about it's not about me, myself. It's about the collective. It's about the world at large. So, where am I building the bridge? Where do I want to transition? Where do I want to move towards? Travel is really big when it's a 5 energy. And romance. Absolutely. Don't forget the romance. So, we will be feeling more in love with the world, or we will look at things to bring into our lives that make us full of love and joy and happiness. It really is about creating that self-expression of who you are, and allowing it to go out to the collective, and thereby creating something marvelous that you will be a part of, whether you think you're going to or not. That's just part of it. Also, remember, it's the year of the ox when we look at the Chinese New Year, which happens shortly after January 1st. When we look at that New Year, the year of the ox. And when I think of the ox, I think about the ox pulling the cart, the work animal, the going through the mundane in order to reach the success at the end of the being at the end of a destiny, of a goal, of a desire. So it's working hard still, but I think there's a flamboyance to how we work, how we interact. Now, at the very beginning, in January, there's a lot of energy saying that there could be sudden changes in our life. And so our thought process will be to break free of any kind of limitations, and enough is enough kind of thing. So I would have to think it has to do with that nasty little bug that's going around. And I'm not even going to call it by name anymore. I think we're just manifesting it in by all of us saying it and reading it and thinking it all the time. So that nasty little bug that's going around is as far as I'm concerned, that's the most recognition it's getting from me going forward. And yet doing what I think is right in the situation, and you do what you think is right in the situation. Absolutely. You really have to pull back and have a patience. Okay, you might end up in a the two steps back rather than the one step forward. So it's about pulling it back a little bit. It also can indicate that there's like great opportunities at hand that just seems to open up out of seemingly nowhere. That we'll have those epiphanies, those aha moments, those conversations, the running past something that catches our eye, or meeting somebody out of the blue, or so a lot of that can happen with Uranus. Uranus, the only thing that you can be guaranteed of when Uranus is in the energy, which it will be highlighted throughout, right up to the eclipses in the end of May, for sure. Is the only thing that you can depend on is that you can't depend on anything. That we really have to go with the flow and meet the challenges that we're presented with in a very logical way. And that's Aquarian again. That's air energy again. The logical approach, rather than letting emotion cloud our judgment in any way. We're thinking very logically. We're thinking very rationally, which is a good thing. So we have to really attach ourselves to that energy so that we are making sound, wise choices about our actions, our words, what our goals that we're setting, our dreams that we're setting. Let's grab the cards. And it's following your own path, not somebody else's. Chiseling it out to be very unique. And it may not be right for anybody else. You may ask other people's opinions and they look at you like you got three heads all of a sudden. That's because it's unique to you. So just walk it. Don't worry, they'll all want to know you. By the time you really get into your stride, your confidence. 5 is all about that confidence builder. Just knowing your strength. Now, the downside to the 5 energy is we start to want and want and want, and nothing starts to please us anymore. We forget to be grateful. We forget to be humble. Okay, so if anything, you have to kind of watch that. And 5s kind of lack commitment because it's like, I don't know if I want to build a bridge here. Maybe I want to build it over there. And so we can kind of teeter-totter back and forth between what we already have and what we really want to walk into. And is it worth the risk? And what if I fall off the teeter-totter? And is there something to catch me? And will it be an easy trip? And so stay very grounded, stay very logical if you tap into that energy. Okay, let's see what the cards have to say. Look at this. The 5 of Swords is standing in your truth. Other people may not agree with you, and that's okay. That's okay. Don't take it personally. They just have a different path, a different reality, a different view on things. And who's to say they're not right and I'm wrong? But it's my truth and my reality, and I'm going to stand in my truth because I do believe it's right. So here we are, the 5 of Swords. Swords is also an air energy. So there you have it, folks. You can't make this up. First card is an air energy. And yet the moon is full there, and the moon is our emotions. So there needs to be a little bit of a balance. We can't just, put a bunch of swords around us and saying back off to everybody and everything and get so fixed. Because remember, we have a lot of Taurus energy. We have a lot of Aquarian energy happening in the first half of the year. And those are both fixed signs. So we got to be careful that we don't get too fixed and too, set in, cement our feet into what we want and not being able to go with the flow. If a new information arises, it may change our opinion, and that's okay. We have we have a right to change our mind, male or female, are indifferent. It doesn't matter. We all can change our minds. Nothing is chiseled in stone. And as information shows up, we may. So we don't want to just box ourselves in there. We don't want to fence ourselves in because we may miss the true opportunities. So it's a lot about the balance that we learned about ourselves throughout 2020 and we'll still be learning as we go forward. Temperance. Temperance. Look at that, huh? The 14th card, 1 plus 4 is a 5. And it's a 5 energy year. And here we are. Where are we? We are the water, the fluency of the water here, the flow, going with the flow, letting things flow through you. Don't get angry and then hold that anger in. Use that anger constructively. Go for a jog, build something, paint something, clean up something, invent something, create something, but allow that emotion to flow through you, because that is what the water is. It's emotion, it's feelings. And here we are, we're kind of mixing potions together, and we're trying to get the right balance. So, and this is but usually having more by having less. So having more by having less, we start to understand what is just clutter and what is just junk and what truly matters and what we really want to take forward with us. And we have a clanking of something falling in the kitchen. Oh, look at this, the Tower card. I think it's Saturn squares Uranus 3 times this year, if I'm not mistaken. It'll happen in February, June, and December, I believe. Every 17 years this comes about, and it usually removes something that we really didn't want to let go of. So you kind of have a heads up on that. Okay, and it's about going with the flow and understanding that it is actually putting you in the right place. So the Tower card is really about things tearing down in order for us to go forward, in order for us to be righted on our path. And many times we don't believe that we are being righted. We are being punished, if anything else. That's what we believe. It's a challenge and chaos and struggles usually. It's something that we didn't want to let go of. We try and work towards keeping it into our lives and going against the current and fighting with it rather than going with the flow and seeing what happens. And so the more we can have a patience, the more we can go with the flow, the more we can kind of sit back and think a little bit about. Many times people talk about these chaotic lives and events in their life and how that actually sprung them into action for a path that they never would have experienced had that not happened in their life. But really at the time it was like, wow, a slap in the face. So the Tower card shows up. Temperance, the Tower card, the 5 of Swords. Look at this, the Sun. And this is all about growing your light, growing your dream. Remember, the true 5 energy is opening up your mind to what you truly want, what you truly want to bring in. That's what the 5 energy is. It's about creating joy and happiness and celebration, to dance, to sing, to laugh, to experience romance and yes, your own self-expression and letting it out and being the unique you. That's what the Sun card is. That's what the representation is here. The light does not come from the sky. It comes from within you. And when you raise your light, when you raise your energy, that's when the path becomes clear. The clarity comes in. The understanding happens. And you see that gateway because you couldn't see it before now. And so we're evolving ourselves. We're going to take one more card here. My goodness. So it's going to be a strong year. I mean, we started with the 5 of Swords, but then we have the Temperance card, the Tower card, and the Sun card. The final card is the Death card. Shall we do a Journey of Love card as well? I just need a sip from my rainbow cup. Hang on. I call it my rainbow cup because when I look within it, I always see a rainbow in it. It's so cool. It's such a cheap little plastic glass, but I've fallen in love with it. Here we have the death card. Okay. The death card, when I look at this card, it's like 2020 made us go within. We've cloaked ourselves. We sit in darkness, and you know what? We're sitting there even with our our sword. We're ready to defend ourselves. We are, so we're not feeling comfortable with the way things are. We're feeling very restless. We're not feeling safe. We're not um and that's because we are actually sitting on the past. The what happened, what we went through, the challenges, and we're allowing some of that to linger in our lives. Whether it was a bad relationship that you went through, or a personal struggle, or helping somebody else through a struggle, or some kind of chaos happening, or that pesky little bug affected your life in some way. But this is about, we need to let go of the past. We need to stand up. We need to take that cloak off. We need to put down that weapon. See the small child sitting there? That's your inner child. That is your self expression. And do you see what happens once we remove that cloak? Freedom, liberation, laughter, joy. And how do we get laughter and joy in our life? Because we can't say, well, in 5 years, I'm going to be happy, and that's all there is to it. I'm going to set that goal. Because happy isn't a goal. Happy is the byproduct of reaching your goal, obtaining success, entering that beautiful relationship, that healthy lifestyle. Whatever is calling you forward. Maybe it's job, career, stature in the community, travel, education. It could be one of 1,000 things. Each of us are unique. Each of us will have a different reality because of this energy, but we will all experience this energy in one way or another. I'm going to get a Journey of Love card for the year of 2021. I usually use this deck for full moons, new moons, eclipses. And I do love this deck. It's spectacular. If you're ever looking for it, there's the book. I believe the box looked very much like this, okay? And it's just gorgeous. I stay right to script with this because I just couldn't duplicate the energy that they give the card in their words. And the artistry is just phenomenal as well, isn't it? So, the Journey of Love cards. And we have, two wanted to come. Look at this, drop into your heart, 68. Drop into your heart. So the 14 energy, the temperance energy. So we already talked about that. We won't really go there. But it's a little bit about your routines, absolutely, and your strength and your courage. So maybe taking a risk on changing something up in your life. Definitely the 5 energy will invite in new experiences, new opportunities, new friendships, new mindsets. Absolutely. It's about finding your own path and moving forward in that way. Okay, drop into your heart. We'll read the poem first. It's very short, the poem. Longing. The dance to move beyond the feeling that draws me forward to a place born within, that calls my soul to feel complete. Okay. There is a place of light within that no darkness can touch. It cannot be shamed, and it can never be made impure. It is never lost or darkened or unavailable to us, though we may forget sometimes, sitting in a darkened room and not realizing that we can stand up and walk into the light so close to us, just on the other side of the doorway to the heart. Whatever may arise, great joy, great sorrow, drop into your heart and offer it to the divine, gently bowing your forehead to your hands in prayer. Connect mind to heart. Let yourself have peace. It wants you, you know. This oracle brings you an offering. The divine would like you to offer whatever is bringing your heart trouble, or of course, whatever is bringing your heart joy. The divine would like to receive this from you as a gift, that it may return to you in some special blessing. Place your hands at your heart, and in genuine reflection, perhaps you may choose to offer your heart burden or light now. Either will be joyfully received by the divine, and you shall be graced with a gift in return. So give it up. Know that you're not an island. Know that you are surrounded by angels, by guides, the divine, God, the creator, the universe, whatever wording that you use. And give your heart, your joys up, and say thank you. And your sorrows up, your chaos up, your struggles up, and say, help me to heal from them. Help me to move through them. Don't hold that emotion in. The 5 energy will make you release it. So allow that energy to flow through you. I want to thank you for an incredible year. What is it? We're going on year 8, I think, now. And I thank some of you. You guys have been part of my family since the beginning, and some of you are brand new. And welcome. It's just a wonderful and special group of people here. And I love getting to know you. I love having you as part of my tribe, my family, my clan. And I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your path. And hopefully that we can continue to walk together and grow together and tap into the energy that is surrounding us and use it to our advantage to have a wonderful and beautiful 2021 and beyond. Thank you. So I was just saying thank you, and then my computer just went blah. So maybe in 2021 I will upgrade my computer. How about that? It's doable. I'll just see it. I'll manifest it. I will maybe do some kind of little financing within my budget to stow the money away or something and work towards a goal and work towards that dream, and it will happen, absolutely. But what I want to say so much is thank you for all that you do for me in my path, and thank you for being a part of mine and allowing me to be a part of yours. And until we meet again, remember, I do love you.